Hey guys, welcome to another playoff hype video. This is EG, the actual EG, not EGA. And I'm joined by two wonderful guests. I have Prophet, the EG's mid laner, and Nova Galaxy, their jungler. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Thank you again for joining me. We'll go ahead and hop right into the questions, not wasting any time. Tell me how your guys' team was formed and how you guys got to that starting roster that it is today.
Now, would you want me to go first? Do you want to?
You can.
Okay. So originally, I think I actually reached out to Shuno through a just basic League of Legends forums post, like pretty standard stuff. I feel like that's how a lot of teams are formed in League. And I actually met Shuno back, I want to say October sometime, maybe even August. And I didn't actually end up playing on his team till at least like January, February, like right around exactly the start of Duo and the end of Chosen or whatever, if you're familiar with that league. Just due to other time constraints and stuff. And then I know there were definitely a couple other people on the team at the time. Like, Shuno obviously was already there. I think Nova was there. Yeah, Nova was there during Chosen. So then as soon as Chosen ended, I officially joined EG as a starting mid laner, and that's kind of just been how that's gone.
Nova,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
For me, it was basically about the same. I joined through a form. I don't remember when. It was quite a while. It was back. I think of a league called Chosen. Played throughout that league, and then we ended up coming to duo afterwards.
Okay, so you guys kind of both found them from forums, and you guys didn't necessarily
Yeah,
form
pretty
the
much.
team. So this question is almost like, how did you get recruited, right?
Yeah,
Um,
almost.
do you guys have like a tryout phase really, or was it mostly just like, hey, come play a couple games with us, and he was just like, yeah, we want you guys on the roster.
I
Uh,
mean, realistically, like I know I actually was trying out for EG the exact same time as Blue was originally, if you remember him back from old seasons of Duo, the same time. And Shuno actually picked Blue to start on the team over me, so that was a bit of the chip on the old shoulder there. Because I was running my own team called OTN at the time back in ODL, so thought my time would be a little constrained, but still hurts just a little bit.
What
as
about you,
far as
Nova? Did you really have a tryout?
not really. There wasn't anybody else as far as I knew of, so I basically kind of played a couple games with them, synergized well with them, so just ended up joining.
Fair enough. I mean, probably was pretty obvious after a game or two that I think Shuno wanted you. Let's go ahead and just move into the next question. So you guys had a pretty good regular season. Kind of was up and down throughout. Are you guys happy with how it went? Would you change anything? And if so, what? Other than obviously just like winning every game, because that's a kind of a cop out answer.
I mean, for me, I feel like it was actually it's hard to say because at the same point, like I feel like it was a disappointing season because we should have done a lot better, and I feel like we definitely had the potential to do a lot better, and kind of just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. But at the same time, though, like nobody really gave EG a shot in duo, especially after our 0-4 start. So to actually come back and at least make playoffs, even if it is only as the fifth seed, does feel good in that regard. But it's kind of bittersweet because we know we can do better.
I would have to agree with Prophet. We definitely could have done a lot better. The first few games of the season, the first were really rough having every game, and EG just hasn't been able to play with subs, so that's kind of destroyed us every time. But as far as where we are placed, like it's still like nice that we came back and still got like fifth seed.
So what do you guys think about like stylistically, or is there anything like team play wise you guys would have wanted to like learn earlier or change earlier that maybe has brought you guys some more success, or not really, and it's just kind of like slowly but surely formed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think the biggest strength of EG is that we have like two pretty capable carries between me and Nova. And I feel like Shuno isn't ever going to Shuno and Avail. Like if Avail is ever going to end, he's going to get like hard camped, which is fine. That draws attention on the map. Overall, I mean, I feel like we've just really figured out what works well for us as a team, where we roam, we get Nova super fed, whatever, and then we just group and team fight from that as well. I feel like we found our style pretty well, and it's not that we struggled to find what style we wanted to play. Like we knew pretty early, oh, we aren't going to be a full ADC hard carry team,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just the fact that we've learned how to play around that to an extent that I feel like we're better than teams who have to rely fully on their AD carry. And if he gets behind, they're just screwed. I feel like that's really where the strength of EG is. so that we know how we want to win and we can push for that win condition very well.
I think personally, if there was anything that I actually would have wanted to learn earlier on, would have been or basically would have been like how our comms are. So now, like, we actually have pretty decent comms in game between me, J-Rod, like typically calling stuff. But I wish like earlier on in the season we could have gone a lot better with that instead of like later on, because we didn't really get decent comms until like halfway through the season when we actually like started practicing and figuring out who was actually going to be the main callers.
So your thing is
Also, our coach we picked up halfway through the season, K-Man. Man has been an absolute monster in the coaching department. It's been a really big part of just improving our comms as a whole, really like unifying like what we want to do as a team and making sure that we do that exact thing. Definitely has been a big major factor for EG's turnaround in the second half of the season.
So it sounds like communication you kind of both harped on is like the big thing you guys you wish you would have improved early on in the season, or had that already set up pretty well established.
Yeah.
And you think you probably would have had more success with that.
Definitely.
Okay. So moving in, like transitioning into like kind of in game or like to your guys' success in the regular season, who's making those calls in game, or not even necessarily calls? If you want to more talk about like who's leading you guys, who are you attributing to your guys' success in and out of game?
I mean, realistically, I feel like Dushuno as a whole is great at keeping EG together. I think EG has a lot of personalities, to say the least. So Shuna being able to sort of manage the team as a whole has been really helpful. And as far as like in-game comms go, having Nova and J-Rod be able to really play off each other in the shot calling department has definitely helped for sure. And they've been really getting on the same page a lot more recently, which I think is just a really good sign for us.
Yeah, I would say between like out of game, Shuno is definitely the one who keeps the team together for the most part. It's pretty interesting. But as far as in game, me and Shuno, or me and JR being able to actually like get on like the same terms basically is really helping, and it's really nice.
So do you consider J Rod and you like kind of like the vocal leaders in the game of like, especially like as far as shot calling goes, and just kind of like making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, definitely. J-Rod typically does more of like macro stuff. I typically do more of like early game macro, and then
Okay.
he does like team fighting and macro.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know. We
it's
kind of just like split it off.
a lot of times I feel like that's the best way to set it up. Is usually if your jungle and support can't, I think that's the best way to go. It just takes a little bit off the carries plate to like make sure they're focusing on just CSing and just play and make sure they're executing in team fights and stuff, because that stuff can be a little bit more, can use a little bit more brain power sometimes. Not saying the supports don't have the brain power to use, but it just helps that those two roles
Split
do it.
shitty players, it's confirmed.
Yeah, you just throw your worst
okay.
player in support, J Rod and probably you.
Shuno's
Anyway,
not playing support though? Hello?
that's true. I guess we have just you guys as two worst players in the bot lane. Is that
True.
right? Anyway, let's move into the next question. So internally, who do you guys consider your guys? Who would you pick as your MVP? I want to answer one person from both of you, and this doesn't necessarily mean again in-game performance. This is mostly like all around like what value they bring to your team, whether that's an intangible thing or if it's just straight up performance.
Do you want to go first in this one, Nova?
Oh yeah, sure. As far as MVP for our team, I would say, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Uh, I suppose I would end up saying probably Prophet, just because he is a pretty consistent carry through mid lane. Even like in behind, he can still later on and still build something instead of end whole game. So that's always like nice to know that somebody's there and able to help carry.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard for me to say. I think definitely as far as in-game play though goes, it's definitely Nova 100%. I feel like his shot calling and ability to just get these massive leads and snowball the game is a massive help. But at the same time, like I'm tempted to say Juno as well, because at the same time, like without Juno, like EG would literally not be a team at all. I'm 100% sure that if had any other captain leading us, like EG just wouldn't be a team at this point. So it's really hard to say between those two, because EG wouldn't be a good team if we didn't have Nova Jungle making all these big plays. the same time, EG literally would not exist if we didn't have Shuno. So it's definitely a very tough question for me.
You gotta pick one. I'm making you pick one person.
Actually toxic. Okay. Well, since Shuno's not here, good old fuck Shuno. Nova, you're my boy.
Yeah,
Hey,
fuck Shuno. I like that. All right, well, everybody knows hashtag fuck Shuno. Let's just move on to the next question. So you guys play GG, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't even know how I almost forgot that because that's one of the bigger matchups of the weekend. So you guys play GG. What are you guys thinking about going into this matchup, knowing that they're the 4th seed or the 5th seed? It should be a super tightly contested series. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, realistically, I feel like this is definitely the best series of the first round, especially with AR not being in a series in the first round since they did end up getting that bye. I mean, the only other series that we really have to contend with, first off, there's Classic and Amumu's, and that's literally it. That's the only other series this weekend. And honestly, I feel like EG is definitely, or EGGG is definitely the better series by far. I think seeding wise, not necessarily because EG and GG both kind of threw towards the end of the season, but I think especially talent wise, maybe not always consistency wise, I feel like EG and GG are definitely 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. So I think it's gonna be a fun matchup. I'm feeling really good heading into it. I think we've got a lot of good comps. Excuse me. I think we've got a lot of good comps, good strategies that are ready to roll out. I think GG's definitely not going to expect what we're going to throw at him. So I think while it will be a close series, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be as close as we see. I honestly think that whichever team takes game 1 honestly takes the series straight up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Whoever takes first game will definitely end up winning the series, but I don't think it's going to be close. I think EG is taking it 2-0. And yeah.
So the confidence from Nova. EG 2-0, easy
Better juggler
peasy,
wins.
easiest game of your life. Just put it in the book now. Give me the prize money. Is that all? Is that a good gist of Nova's mindset going into the game?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, how else would I be able to face AR if I lose to GG?
That's true. You can't. Only one of you 2 teams, which seem to really want to play us, can in fact play
it
us.
is really unfortunate we play each other in the first round. Actually, like,
hey, we'll just give whoever loses. We'll give them a scrim, and we'll just stream it so we can show you how
have
much.
we ever scrimmed AR? I don't think we have.
Probably have. No, you haven't.
We did. We scrimmed like once.
I know we've scrimmed GG.
You most
beat
likely
GG in scrims.
You most likely scrimmed ARA if you played AR. We haven't scrimmed you guys.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Oh wait, no, we haven't. We've only played GG a few times actually, and we haven't played AR. Unlucky.
But anyway, whoever loses, maybe we'll be nice enough to give you guys a scrim game, just to kind of be a consolation prize. We won't try though if we lose, so it's fine. Anyway, so you guys are feeling both pretty good about the series. So Prophet, do you feel it's gonna be? So I know I got Nova's 2-0 prediction. What is your prediction for the series?
Honestly, I feel like I said, if GG falls behind, it's pretty much game over at that point. I don't feel like GG has ever had very good late games. I feel like that's something that EG and GG both suffer from pretty heavily. Is that they're both very prone to hard throwing games, like to a ridiculous extent. Like, I think both teams have thrown 10k gold leads at 20 minutes at least. And I feel like while EG has been able to recover from that somewhat, I don't think Guardian has that. I'm going to use the words mental fortitude here, because I just think they tilt way too hard to actually be able to make a comeback. So I definitely feel like if you win early game, you just win, honestly. Otherwise, you're just beating yourself at that point, because I don't think either team really has the tools it takes to make that big, strong comeback. I feel like it's definitely the other team throwing. And for that reason, I definitely think that, especially with how good our early game has been all season, I definitely think that EG will end up taking the 2-0.
Okay, so we got 2-2 predictions. If I remember correctly, they had a 2-0-2-1. I think somebody thought the series would be close, or maybe they both gave 2-1s. They were a little bit more like it's going to be super close, which I actually do think it's going to be close. I do think, especially with both teams being very capable of throwing games, I just don't know how. I just don't see the series ending super clean. I think somebody's gonna throw a game, even if you are like winning the series pretty confidently. You're gonna have one game where you're gonna throw, or something's gonna happen at a Baron because both teams are pretty.
I'm not saying that like it's not going to be a close series. I'm
Oh
just
yeah, I'm
saying
not.
that it's going to be like a super snowbally series. Like
Yeah,
I
I
think
totally
game
agree.
one will.
that's my thing.
I think game one will be close for the first 15 minutes or so, and then we're just gonna stomp the rest of it because once they lose a game, they're instantly gonna tilt. I guarantee it. You'll be able to see game two, them literally just running it down for like 10 minutes until they FF 15.
I hope there's just like I'm predicting a quote of this, like of Nova saying that, and then you fade into it feels bad, and it's just like Noah running it down mid by like 15 minutes in the second game. That'd be a big yikes. But I'm actually hoping we play EG because you guys are the easier team. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait.
Actually toxic.
Just because we have a little bit of something to settle, I think more so with you guys because GG just kind of spews. Well, actually, you both spew a bunch of crap, so I'm not gonna say the team doesn't spew crap.
Listen.
Let's talk a little bit more about your actual opponent, though. So you're going into this matchup feeling good. Is there any? You don't have to give me strategy. Obviously, I'm not trying to pry any strategies, put anything too far out there. But is there anything in particular you guys are looking to? Like you mentioned the early game, trying to make sure you dominate the early game. Is there any Is there any high level ways you're looking at this series? Is like, or this player is there in particular strong point? We need to look at ways to neutralize that. You know what I'm saying?
For one, I think Shrinox is the most coin flip player in all of Duo. Period. I think he's either going to hard carry or he's going to straight up part in, and then he's going to drag his team down with him. Like, I feel like he's definitely one of those polarizing players who is either going to win you the game or, like I said, he's just going to hard lose you the game. He's going to get tilted while he's doing it. So while it'd be nice to shut him down, I definitely feel like one of the games he is going to do well. Then it's going to come to the rest of the team to really kind of pop off there. I think the weirdest thing that I've seen the GG though is throughout the ban where their team Shrinox got banned for a couple weeks. The biggest issue that I saw with them is how much they ended up swapping their roles around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say really what point we should attack because I don't even know what point they're all playing at, you know?
Yeah.
So
what about you, Nova?
Pretty much. I'm going to be picking Kale, and we've.
I don't know about that one. Definitely feel like that's got to get through the team approval process.
Oh.
You get to play Kale and play. That's how this goes. We've been over this.
Alright, but on a serious note, I think I'm a better jungler than Kids, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
And I think I'll be able to impact the game a lot more than he can early game. And once our lanes are ahead, like I can pretty much pick any lane, get them ahead, and Guardian won't be able to like deal with that lane. Like Avail's just a toxic player because he plays Sion. And my mid laner can actually carry a game once he's ahead.
So you're saying that almost your look at how you're playing the series is just like I want to cause more pressure on the map than their jungler, and that should give us the edge to win the series. It's kind of like your perspective looking at it. Okay. So final question for you guys. Now I've got a lot of consistent answers for this, but you never know when somebody's going to kind of be more pessimistic or just kind of more realistic. But I'm just curious, where do you guys see your team finishing this playoff in the playoffs at? First, I've heard a lot of firsts. I'm just curious to hear everybody say, so we can always look back and see who was right.
I mean, I'm actually really hoping Classic. I really, really want Classic to win. I said this on your stream last night, but I want an AR-EG finals. I feel like that will actually be a good series. Whereas if we play you in semis, I don't feel like we're really going to get the full value out of just a best of 3. And I think if we do get to the actual just best of 3 series in the semis against AR, I could actually legitimately see us losing that matchup. However, if I do think that we get to finals, and I actually do, I think Classic will end up beating Mumu's, and then therefore EG will win all of its games in order to get to playoffs. Not necessarily like clean sweeps the series, but like, you know what I mean. Win the series or whatever.
Make it there.
I definitely feel like EG takes a win in a series in a best of 5 over pretty much any team right now. I'm not saying it's going to be like a clean throw or anything. I definitely feel like it will be 3-1, 3-2. But I definitely feel like in a best of 5 series, EG just wins.
What about you, Nova? I think I know your answer.
Actually, you don't.
Okay.
On Classic, I don't see a reason Classic should lose against Amumu. I don't think Amumu is that strong of a team. Neither is Classic, but I think Classic's looked better, kinda, than Amumu's has recently. But so I'm assuming that AR will be in finals for EGAR. And once that happens, I definitely think AR and EG both. I think we're like pretty even skilled. I don't think either team's a massive edge over the other, and it's like it's going like a 3-2 game either way. And I'm hoping EG wins, but I won't say for sure that they will because AR
Wow.
definitely has a chance to win also.
You're
Whoa.
actually pussing out now,
He
Nova.
has
Not
some
really.
humility. I like it. He's gonna. Hey, that's the best way to do it, though. Because then if you actually win, you can still talk crap. But if you lose, you're like, hey, man, I said we might like 3-2 lose. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't flame him too hard, right? Because if he said he's gonna lose, or at least he said like realistically,
Just
he took
win
it
then,
away.
forehead. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the one team I do think you guys are slightly overlooking. Not that they're not that you guys couldn't beat them. But MWE has been turning on things a little bit. Now they definitely have some weaknesses. I think they're a team that are more obvious than some of the other teams, but they also have some strengths that I think are stronger than some of the other teams. So they're definitely another. I think their whole team is almost a coin flip team. I think they can show up and actually play really
Yeah.
solid games, or they could just be a classic and be at that level. So I think they are like that kind of X factor. But not saying I wouldn't necessarily predict whoever wins the 4-5 seed game winning that series. I probably would at least favor them.
Yeah.
But I think it still would be close games. But I think realistically, all the gold plat games are going to be pretty close. Like I definitely think I can definitely see Classic winning. I'm not going to necessarily say I think they're favorites, but I can definitely see that being a 2-1 game in somebody's favor, right? I
Can
definitely
I
see.
get my thoughts on MWE real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be real. I think the only person that I respect on that team is Breakfast Time. I've said this across multiple platforms. I think Mimo is the worst player duo. And I definitely feel like he drags that team down as a whole so hard. Mental and like his actual in-game play. I don't see them winning a series ever. Like I think if you're gonna I don't know. I feel like it's really hard for me to pick MWE in a series just because of the ups and downs you can go through in that series. I feel like once MWE hits that low, they're done. Honestly.
The strength that I would identify on their team is honestly when they picked up Bladed Thesis. That's when they like I think stepped their caliber up a bit as far as the season's gone. Because I do think he's up there in the top 2-3 jungles, if not the top jungle, depending on like what you're looking at. If you're looking at a carry, maybe not. But I think he does a good job of playing more of those utilities and still getting lanes ahead, but just not trying to like hard carry on top of it.
Can I
It's
just
just like
throw
a
my thoughts on
yeah. Go
Bladed
ahead.
real fast?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so Bladed, he's played against me I think like 7 games in this season. Because literally swapped a team every
Mm-hmm.
time I beat him, and so far he's not won a single game. So that's
It's
gonna
all his
be
team, man. Come
continuing.
on. What do you mean?
That's gonna be continuing. Not gonna change.
Yeah, I like the spice, man. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the next bracket gets set up. If you guys do win, whoever wins that Ja versus CER matchup, definitely gonna be interesting. Definitely gonna be looking to do more content on that, and I hope it is EG. Honestly, just because GG's rubbed me the wrong way a couple times with a couple of their players. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I really want to thank you guys for joining me, taking the time out of your day. This should be as you guys don't know this that if people are watching recording, but this is the last video, so definitely make sure you guys tune into their matchup. EG versus GG is on Monday, and it's gonna have Danny Zillen streaming it, so it's gonna be probably pretty good quality.
I think it's Monday at 8:30.
8:30,
Something like that.
So Monday in the afternoon at some point, 8:30. We'll just go with that. As Prophet mentioned, make sure you check out my stream, twitch.tv/Rutledge_. Just gotta plug myself there, but that's it for me, guys. This has been Rutledge, but I'm signing out now. See ya, guys.